our co-star
Yes.
on Lady Ballers. He's an author, and I'm going to tell you this. The man's got a sneaky jumper.
Oh, it's not
He's got
sneaky.
a very
It's
sneaky
public.
jumper. Senator Ted Cruz from the great state of Texas. Senator, thanks for joining us, man.
Gentlemen, you're looking good, and I'm shocked not to see you in drag.
Oh, I know. Well, listen, I put the bow on immediately.
That's on Thursdays.
Yeah, that's on Thursdays. You caught us a couple days earlier, but I put it on immediately when I leave the office. But Senator, we had a great time, obviously, with on the Lady Ballers set with you. We really appreciate you coming in. The cameo is hilarious that you have, and I want to start there. Obviously, you know, you have a book out. We want to get to that. It's fantastic, but you're part of you know, obviously the branch of our government that looks at these laws, that's able to have an effect, that's able to argue in front of people. And when I look at this men and women's sports issue, to me, it's a 99% issue. To me, Senator, and I know everything is political in our world today, but this is about as political as me turning on my blinker to change lanes. It's about as political as me looking both ways before I cross the street. It's a safety issue. So my question to you is, how long until this nonsense is completely gone, or will it ever be completely gone?
Well, I actually think one of the keys to turning it around is what you guys are doing with Lady Ballers. I think culture is fundamental. And listen, you're right that any normal person knows that the idea of boys playing in girls' sports or men playing in women's sports, it's fundamentally unfair. If you're competing in powerlifting or swimming or running or basketball, it's not. There is a reason we have the WNBA. I mean, any wild-eyed leftist, just ask them, why does the WNBA exist? Why don't we just tell women, hey, have at it, go compete against LeBron James, let's see how that works out. There's an entire league because we recognize there are physiological differences between men and women. And from the dawn of history, people have understood that it is only in this sort of weird, fake world where everything is politics that people are pretending they can't tell the difference. And I think one of the critical pieces, you mentioned my new book. So I have a brand new book that just came out.
Yep.
It's called Unwoke, How to Defeat Cultural Marxism in America. And it's on exactly this topic. And one of the key chapters is on entertainment. And listen, entertainment is pernicious. It is pervasive. It is everywhere. And Lady Ballers is funny, but it makes the point that everyone knows is true. And I think that's an important part of how you fight back against political nonsense is with humor and with truth.
Yeah, and Unwoke, How to Defeat Cultural Marxism in America, it's on sale now. Go check this out.
Can't wait.
Especially if you like Lady Ballers, you're going to love the messaging in this as well. And Senator, before I kick it over to my 6'7" friend to my left, I do got to admit, I know you're a basketball fan. You're a lover of basketball. I've seen you play. But the great state of Texas, I know you love all the teams in the state. Houston just got Willie Fritz from Tulane, a great hire there. Coach McGuire at Texas Tech is doing a fantastic job. They're going to turn it around this next year. A&M just hired a new coach in Mike Elko.
Yeah.
But the Texas Longhorns in the college football playoff, I mean, how you feeling against Washington? We could end up getting a Bama-Texas rematch, but I know you want to give a shout-out to Coach Sark and the Longhorns for making the playoff.
Yeah, listen, I think it's fantastic. I think the Longhorns are going to go all the way. We got to beat Washington first, and then I'm indifferent whether it's Michigan or Alabama. Although you're right, a rematch with Alabama would be particularly rich. You know, the Longhorns going to Tuscaloosa and beating Alabama at home, that was a powerful win. And listen, I think these Longhorns can go all the way, and I'm going to be enthusiastically cheering every minute of it.
What does Ted Cruz and Steve Sarkisian have in common?
Talk to me.
They both dominate Washington. You're up there.
Wow, look
Write
at
that one down.
Hey, he'll be here
Write that
all
one
week.
down. Write that one down.
All week. Senator, I want to continue talking about college athletics here. I was fortunate enough to play college football. While some aspects of it seemed problematic when I was there, you know, not being able to sign an autograph for money or sign some sort of NIL deal while other regular students could, I never felt exploited, right? I got a scholarship and I was happy to do so. And if I was good enough to go to the NFL level, then, you know, you can make that. Now we've seen things in college athletics where you have this name, image, and likeness deal basically being used as a collective where schools can pay for play, right? And that's just one thing that's going on. The transfer portal is wide open now. You know, I have a theory here that the NCAA, after losing that O'Bannon case, basically just let college athletics and college football in particular go off the rails as far as possible so that they could get Congress to act. Does my theory hold water there? And if so, should Congress be getting involved in college athletics? And if so, what are the solutions to these problems?
Yeah, well, look, I'm not sure they did it deliberately. I think they would say they were dragged into it by the litigation. But I think the outcome is unquestionably what you said. Right now, college athletics is a mess. And absolutely, I think Congress should act. So I am the ranking member on the Senate Committee of Commerce, Science, and Transportation. And the Commerce Committee has jurisdiction over about 40% of the U.S. economy, including all of sports. And so the ranking member means I'm the senior Republican on the Commerce Committee. And it is the Commerce Committee that has jurisdiction over NIL. I have introduced legislation for Congress to address this and to step in because I've spent the past year really meeting with universities in Texas, meeting with conferences, meeting with the NCAA, meeting with stakeholders, and trying to really listen to best ideas. And the legislation I've filed, I think Congress needs to act, and the legislation I've filed empowers the NCAA to make rules that are reasonable rules that allow for real competition. No one wants to see a handful of super rich schools sucking up all the talent and competition disappearing across the board. Also, no one wants to see Congress step in a way that hurts smaller schools, that hurts Division II and hurts Division III schools, or that hurts non-revenue sports. It's easy to talk about football and basketball. They're the powerhouses, but there are a lot of other sports that are providing avenues for young women, young men to go to college, to get an education. They're never going to earn a living as a professional athlete, but college sports is a pipeline for opportunity for thousands and thousands of young people. And so I think it's important that we protect name, image, and likeness rights. I think it is an improvement that student athletes can earn real revenue. They've worked incredibly hard.
Sure.
And when you have talents that can generate millions and millions of dollars for the school you're playing for, I think it's only right that you enjoy some of the fruits of your labor.
Sure.
But we want it in a way that student athletes aren't exploited and that the system can survive and be stronger.
You want a free ham? Yeah, you probably do, because you're smart. And our friends over at Good Ranchers have got an incredible deal for you. But they don't just have free hams. They have the best seafood, they have the best steak, they have the best chicken, they have the best pork. They have the best everything when it comes down to American-sourced meat. And, like I said, if you head on over to goodranchers.com and you subscribe today with our code BOOSTER, and I'm going to say this again, head over to goodranchers.com and subscribe with our code BOOSTER, B-O-O-S-T-E-R, you get a free limited stock holiday ham before they sell out. But you're going to need to act fast because this offer won't last forever, and you need to order before December 11th, running out of time, for a guaranteed delivery by Christmas. Head to goodranchers.com, use our code BOOSTER, B-O-O-S-T-E-R, when you subscribe to get your free 10-pound holiday ham. Don't settle for the same old holiday fare. Elevate your feast with Good Ranchers this year. Good Ranchers, American meat delivered. Fantastic product. You better get on it if you want to get one of those hams. GoodRanchers.com. Use that promo code BOOSTER.
This is America. If you have a skill set that can be compensated, everyone should get behind that. Quickly here, what's the timeline on some legislation like that?
You know, the real question is, are we going to see bipartisan agreement? I've been sitting down and meeting with Democrats, in particular, the key Democrats on this issue are Cory Booker, a Democrat from New Jersey. He played college football at Stanford. He cares a lot about it. Cory and I are friends. We get along well. We're different ideologically, but personally we get along. And then Maria Cantwell, who's a Democrat from Washington State, who's the chairman of the Commerce Committee. And Maria and I work on a lot of issues together. And what is not clear is, are we going to get bipartisan cooperation? If we just divide shirts and skins, it'll never pass because you need 60 votes in the Senate to pass. I'm working to try to see if Democrats are willing to come together. I would say I'm optimistic. I would put the chances of it passing in the next year at about 60-40. I think it's more likely than not, but we've still got some distance to travel.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Well, quickly, I always thought NIL, and I have buddies that work for these collectives. I have friends that do it, and it's a smart business move right now. But in my opinion, I thought NIL was if Bryce Young wants to do a deal with Dr. Pepper, Bryce Young's people and Dr. Pepper's people come together and they make a deal. Now we have these collectives that have inserted themselves as the middlemen, which brings in a totally new group of people. I think that's where it kind of went off the rails in my opinion. But Blaine, go ahead.
Well, Senator Cruz, I know they threw some hard-hitting questions at you. I'm going to throw you even harder ones. First, did you ever find those box seats? And two, how did you put up with Michael Knowles for that long?
Well, I will say, I just spent one day on the set, as you guys know. I had 2 whole lines. I had to walk down the stairs and deliver 2 lines, and I managed not to fall down the stairs. And after about the 30th take, not to screw up my 2 simple lines. It was awesome fun. And I got to say, you guys should really be proud. It's a good movie. I love movies.
Thank you.
And it's a good movie. It's funny. It's well done. But it's also, I mean, there are sweet and poignant moments. My favorite moment is when Jeremy, y'all's coach and a good friend of mine, is talking to his young daughter. And his young daughter is saying near the end of the movie, I want to be a boy. And he explains to her, he said, look, girls are wonderful. Y'all can do all sorts of things that you're incredibly good and gifted and blessed and wonderful at. And I'm the dad of 2 daughters. That I think is my favorite part of the whole movie, is I laughed the whole time, but it also had a really sweet and real message.
Yeah, I think that's what brought it in totality together. I've had more people message me about, the end, the way it ended. A lot of people were wondering how you end a movie like that. And yeah, it's funny. Yeah, there's slapstick humor. But I think the messaging in the movie is really what makes it and why we've seen this great success that it's had. And we've been overwhelmed. I still can't believe it.
Absolutely, yeah.
To be honest with you. But Senator Cruz, please tell us about your book one more time where everybody can get it.
Yeah.
I know it's on sale now. Unwoke. It's fantastic. Please, one more time, tell our audience where they can find it. And just a little synopsis.
Well, sure. The book is called Unwoke, How to Defeat Cultural Marxism in America. And it describes how the radical left has taken over just about every major institution of our country. So every chapter focuses on a different institution. So it starts with universities, which I've called the Wuhan lab of the woke virus. Universities are where it was created, where it mutated, and where it spread. From there, it goes from universities to K through 12 education. It goes to journalism. It goes to government. It goes to big business. It goes to big tech. It goes to entertainment, Hollywood, movies, television, music, sports. It goes to science. And then the last chapter is on China, which I describe as a central nexus that is intertwined with them all. And what the book does is 2 things. Number 1, it explains how and why the radical left succeeded in capturing these institutions. But then number 2, it lays out a clear, practical battle plan for how we take them back. And there are really 3 things I advocate. Number 1, sunlight and transparency. The ideas of the radical left are nuts. Exposing them is a powerful weapon against them. Number 2, changing the cost-benefit analysis to increase the costs of individuals or institutions going woke. And number 3, which you guys are doing, I urge conservatives and libertarians, battle in the arena of ideas, create alternative avenues for transmission of ideas, or go take over existing ones. And I got to say, Lady Ballers is an exact manifestation of what I call for in the book Unwoke, which is produce content and go battle for culture and do it. I talk a lot about late night comedy and how powerful comedy is, and that we've let, late night shows right now are unwatchable.
They're awful.
Instead of making fun of everyone, which is what they should be doing, it's just angry leftists screaming, I hate Donald Trump. Well, no kidding. We figured that out. But can you tell a friggin' joke and not just be an angry puritanical ass? Well,
Colbert used to be funny. I used to lose my mind watching Colbert.
And SNL? I used to watch SNL for years growing up.
SNL was fantastic. By the way, one of my favorite things I ever got to do is I played Jimmy Kimmel one-on-one hoops.
Yeah?
We played for charity. We had a $10,000 wager on the game. We played at TSU, Texas Southern University. 6,000 people came out to watch the game.
Let's go.
I got to tell you, it was terrible, terrible basketball. The ESPN broadcaster said if Dr. Naismith had seen what happened here tonight, he would have invented a different sport. But as bad as it was, I'm glad to tell you I whipped his ass.
Yes, sir, Senator Cruz.
He hates to this day. And he had to cut a check to 2 great charities in Texas.
Well, we're glad we're able to win for charity, and I always laugh. Jimmy Kimmel telling me like how bad men are when I watched a show with him and Adam Carolla growing up with girls jumping on trampolines and bikinis.
Yeah, I remember it well.
The Man Show.
Yeah.
Right? But Senator Cruz, Unwoke, it's fantastic. We're very excited to have you on. It was great to see you at the premiere.
You can get the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Go buy the book. You'll enjoy it.
Definitely. Awesome. Everybody go check that out. I know the Booster Club's going to be all over it. It was great to see you at the premiere. We need to get you back. We need to get you in studio sometime.
I look forward to it. That'd be fun.
Definitely. We'll see
what
Texas can do.
By the way, what's your prediction? Who wins in football?
Oh man, I picked Michigan at the beginning of the year.
Thank you.
I've got to ride with them. I think Michigan finds a way. I think it's an overtime win in the national championship game against
Texas. You see that Rose Bowl jersey back there, Senator?
Guys.
That Michigan Rose Bowl jersey? Well, we got creamed by USC. So let's not repeat that in the college football playoff.
Hey, Texas Longhorns national champion, Senator Cruz.
Oh,
this is the year,
all right,
baby.
I got to say, hook 'em.
This is the year.
I was at the Rose Bowl when Texas beat USC, and I was tragically at the Rose Bowl when we lost to Alabama after Colt McCoy got injured. So I think this is our year, and hook 'em horns, we're going all the way.
I love it.
Thanks, Senator Cruz.
Senator.
Appreciate you. Hey, YouTube, thanks for checking us out. Hope you love Lady Ballers. Apparently you did. It's one of the top streaming movies in the country right now. It's got 97% on Rotten Tomatoes and was the biggest Daily Wire launch ever. We really appreciate you guys. And we have the best sports show on the planet, too. So make sure you subscribe to check out all of our content as we head into a great time of year, especially in football.